Hello, everybody. Hi, Sammy. I opened my bot and it shows me a list of people who are in the chat. And do you mind? Stop putting my chair back, you little. Shit. There we are. And it shows me a little list of people who are waiting in my chat, and I saw your name. So look at my. I know my new chair. Merry Christmas Eve! Yay! Thank you, Sam. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's a late one today. I never usually stream this late. Oh, it's so cute. I know. It's lovely, isn't it? It's so comfortable. I sat in this chair for 4 hours straight the other day. Not a single butt ache was in sight. Nothing. Nothing at all. I know. I love it for me as well. Right, let's play some music over here. You gonna play? Yeah, there we go. Let me know if music's too loud or whatever. You don't know that. There we are. Looks a very comfy chair. It is so comfortable, like actually so comfortable. Like the backrest is nice. The chair can tilt like this if you wanted it to, and also obviously the back can just go like, whoop, you can just like lie back down. But man, this is incredible. I'm having the best time in this chair, to be honest. But yeah, we have 2 Advent calendar days left. I'm gonna warn you, tomorrow's one's gonna be a disappointment. You can hear Merlin barking. He's scrapping with Callum. Tomorrow's going to be a disappointment because I know what tomorrow's one is. It tells you on the box what tomorrow's one is. It's going to be a disappointment, so... It's going to be a disappointment, but... Oh, Jesus. Little Merlin. Let's get the little advent calendars. I'm going to miss doing this, man. I'm going to miss having a little thing going on, you know. We can get little gifts every day, you know what I mean. I'm definitely gonna up my game next year though. I'll probably get some better calendars next year, because this year I kind of just just bought the first one I could think of, really. Passionate, hi, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't it lovely? It's a Razor Enki, my lovely boyfriend Callum over here. Bought it for me for Christmas. Along with many other things. From the wine advent. Yeah, I know. There's a beer advent that looks really cool. Oh, today's one's cute.
Stand behind your chair and put your arms around it.
No, it's okay. I don't want to stand up. They'll be able to see my fatness if I stand up. Yeah, there's like a beer one that I think Callum would like, but I don't know if he can have a beer every day. Every day for the month of December. Okay. There's also a cheese one. There's also a cheese one that I think Callum would like. Big is beautiful. Thank you, Passionate. That's very kind of you. But yeah, cheese, yes. Just yes to cheese, right? I won't tell you what we got until it's built. It's quite cute. How does that even go on? Oh, that's how. And then a red bit, really? Okay. I see you. I'm playing Life is Strange 2 Colors again. Oh my god, I really want to play that game so badly, like genuinely. Is it on the Steam sale? Thank you for the lurk, Sam. No worries at all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Christmas Eve. Is it in the Steam sale? Because I would really like to play it. Hang on, let me just Google it. Life is Strange. Oh, it is in the sale. Oh shit! It's on the Steam sale. If it's on the PlayStation Store, I'd rather get it on PlayStation. I can platinum it if it's on PlayStation. Could you have a look?
Huh?
Could you have a look?
Do you want me to have a look?
Yeah. See if it's on the PlayStation sale, because I would really like to play it. Hi Sam, hi Kate, hi nerds, hi lads. But yeah, I hope you enjoy playing that game. I have seen no spoilers on it, so I have no clue what it's about. But I really want to play it. Maybe that's on Epic too. Oh, it's what? Yeah, that's how much it is on PC. I'll probably get it on PlayStation, to be honest. We're taking a break just for your eyes. Ah, you guys! Me and Callum had a little date night today. It was fucking great. We went. Thank you. It was so good. Oh, amazing. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Sam, thank you for the lurk as well. I really appreciate it. Enjoy Life is Strange. Hi, TD. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? You feeling any better? You're gonna have to build this.
Huh?
You're gonna have to build this.
What?
I have no idea what to do.
Why?
Look at it!
Here you go.
It's the same both sides, but I'm so confused. What's that? Date night today? Yeah, we had a little date night today. Yeah, Callum's here. He's just on the bed over there. But yeah, we did it. What we did was we went on a little drive. We drove about 45 minutes away to a chip shop. The best chicken nuggets in the world, let me tell you. The greatest chicken nuggets I have ever had, right? And yeah, we went there, and then we just drove around the village. We just drove around the village Callum used to live in before he moved in here. And we just drove around and looked at everyone's Christmas lights. Somebody had a Gru with minions as like the reindeer. A Christmas Gru and minions as the reindeer. It was fucking incredible. It was insane. It was great. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. And we had a lovely time. So that's all that matters, right? Yeah, I know. Christmas lights. Christmas lights. Oh, TD, I'm glad you're doing better today. A breakfast date in Costa. That sounds pretty nice. Oh, I'm building it now. It's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of bits to this one. Also, one thing I do miss about being in the cities with holidays because people go all out. Well, you say that, but in Bristol where I live, there's like hardly any. I mean, I'm sure there's like some, but like we went to the village today, and there was just tons, like every house pretty much. It was so pretty. Someone had a giant inflatable polar bear with penguins on the back. It was the cutest thing. What is that? What's that? Does that go there? Does that go there? And then what? It just goes like... Just what? Like that? No. Oh my god, this is horrible. This is not very nice to build at all. They haven't done this very well. Oh my god. We're gonna be here for fucking ages. Oh, Christmas shopping today made me happy? Yeah! You're eating something fancy today? Oh yeah, what are you guys eating? My parents live in cabin territory. Most people don't do much. Oh man, that sounds great though. I don't know where this goes. Mother, this doesn't fit anywhere. Mother, can you come and do this for me, please?
Huh?
do this.
Do what?
Build this! I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is, obviously, but it just won't click together.
What's it supposed to be? How's it supposed to go on?
That's the instructions. Got loads of bits here. Take it and build it.
Is it what now?
Please, I don't wanna. I can't fit it on. Because the middle bit just breaks.
It's 'cause what?
We're having technical difficulties. Oh no, it's like sometimes you order pizza, but nothing tonight. I love Christmas talk. We're probably gonna do some sort of indoor barbecue. That sounds great. An indoor barbecue? Hell yeah. I think it's an us thing to go all out of decorations because in Belgium we don't have much. A US thing. Ah. You know what? I'm gonna make it snow again for myself. Because I can.
You have to redeem your own points.
Yeah. We have different eating schedules as well. Yeah, fucking... Right, listen, Sammy told me what they normally have for their Christmas dinner, right?
What's that?
Listen to this.
What's that?
You know when you see, like, they, like, grill the cheese and then they scrape the top off?
Oh, yeah.
And it's all not that.
Oh, I saw that on TikTok. Well, that sounds great. I want that.
I know, that's what I said. Oh, your mom cooks super early, okay. Well, I'll just show them the parts.
What the fuck?
I don't understand.
Because it literally can. You can't go together like that.
Like, it just won't go in the holes.
Well, it can't go in the holes.
Unless I... No, because that green bit's definitely supposed to be there.
Build it like that.
Am I missing it? Have I missed a bit?
Have you missed a bit?
No. We're having technical difficulties. But for now, what's great is that we did our little book bingo. Oh, that's cute. We're going to play Minecraft in a little bit. Nice.
What a lovely day. Why don't you play Minecraft with me?
I would love to play Minecraft with you. Then read to the end of the night. Translate tastes gourmet. Ooh. I'll definitely send pics of it tomorrow. Yes, please. Please send pics. Unless it's chocolate cake, so always perfect time for that. Hell yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks for streaming. No worries, random person. Thank you for joining the stream. I hope you're having a lovely day, friend. Yeah, but I don't know.
No, they'll go on now because I added an extra bit.
Oh, you had to add an extra bit?
Yeah,
oh,
on the instructions.
Fucking
you
hell.
can see that there's actually a stack of 2. See that? There's 2
Oh, bloody shit.
Oh, you dropped it.
Grab me that. It's okay, I can just like copy it again, can't I? Or is one upside down?
No.
But what's that at the bottom?
Start. I guess when I was on this upside down.
Okay, well, it goes like that, and then
like decorating the tree or something.
like that, and then actually, I need another one of these. Another one of those. And then the star. So that goes on what? What side does this go on? Is there 4 sides?
Yes, there's 4
Can I
sides to a
see?
Christmas tree, believe it or not. Oh well.
Well, they didn't know it was a Christmas tree, so you ruined that now.
Oh.
I'm gonna walk balloon, no worries. How am I today? I am doing pretty well today, thank you, random person. How are you doing? I'm just trying to build this bloody tree. Hi, Ash. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, friend? How are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let me put that there, and then instead of the star on the top, we put the star on the bottom. And oh, that's better. I get it. Thank you for the lyrics, Sammy. Enjoy walking below. I hope he's doing good. Good. Thanks for asking. I'm glad. That does sound good. Oh my god, what do you say? It's M&M's chocolate. Oh my god, I love M&M's, but it's in a bar. An M&M. Oh, I've seen those. That sounds really nice, actually. See, I'm not the biggest fan of M&M's. I like the crispy M&M's, but I don't like the other ones. The rest of them. Right. And we've got that. We're almost done, lads. Don't worry. We'll get into Stardew Valley in a minute. We've been live for 20 minutes already, and I haven't played a single thing. I've just been making a tree. Thank you for the hydrate, TD. Oh, good job giving to the homeless, Kate. Good job. This is today's advent calendar. It is a whack. Hang on. What's this? What's this? This isn't part of this isn't copyright free. Thank you. Can you play this? Thank you very much. Custom order. I just want to play the playlist. I don't want you to swap stuff out. Like, don't shuffle it. Just play the playlist. That's all I want. Okay, thanks. I'm still allowing something to push through the sickness. Oh, I'm sorry you're still sick, Kate. That Ash, that sucks. That really does suck. I hope you start to feel better soon. But yeah, there are crispy M&Ms. They're great. There's also brownie M&Ms. Those are weird. I'm not sure how I feel about those. The brownie M&Ms. Oh, do you know what? I'd love it if Alex gave me a PlayStation gift card again. Hello? Huh? I'd love it if Alex gave me a PlayStation gift card again. Yeah. By Life is Strange. Mama got COVID tested today. I get tested Monday, so we're all sick. Oh no! I'm sorry. I hope you're okay. But yeah, brownie M&Ms. It's basically the M&M shell with brownie in the middle. It's very strange. It's stranger than you think. No, not the ones with peanuts. There's like a different crispy M&M. I felt bad because I food to eat tonight. Christmas. He has kids. It's also very personal. I've gone through his family before moving to Wales. That sounds good, Kate. I feel you. I know what you mean. But here is the advent calendar tree. It's a bit shit, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. They don't exist in the other ones. Ah, unlucky. Okay, let's load up Stardew, shall we? So I'm going to be playing my YouTube farm. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna upload this whole stream tomorrow as a part. Because honestly, recording Stardew Valley is kind of annoying at the moment because it's going so slow. Like, I don't have anything to do because I'm just waiting for stuff to grow. So, I can't really sit there recording for hours on end just waiting for shit to happen so I can edit it out. So, I'm probably just gonna upload this whole stream as a part. Sounds lovely and they feel guilty for a broken system. Yep, that is exactly this. That is exactly it, Toto. Exactly it. How's everyone's day been? How's everyone's day been? Everyone had a good day today? Day 5 of summer. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for me friggin' red cabbages to grow. It's 10 to 9 already. I'll tell you what. I've been up since like 6 AM today, right? Is the thing alright? Yeah. Wow, that's very loud. Let's turn the music off. Let's put up and down, but I think I'm gonna be accepting a new job on Monday. Nice. Did you finish negotiating your salary? It was so nice because someone else taking Christmas dinner today. Oh, that's so nice. Love it when people are nice. Oh shit, I'm just wasting the day. But yeah, get it. I don't remember what I was doing. The last time I played Stardew Valley was literally ages ago. So we'll see. See what happens. My full sleep it's 9:51. Fair play. You want a full sleep? You go for it, TD. I hope you have a lovely sleep if you do. What do I even have? I'm so confused. Okay, is there anything happening today? I guess I missed Jazz's birthday. Got the coffee. That's so loud. Can you guys hear the music, or is it too quiet? Very displeased. That's nice. That was up and down. I have to negotiate further. I may not have my needs met, but I had some really good conversations with my current boss and doesn't thinking of how I want the future to look. It's company talking at its best. Well, that's great. That's great. Good job. Look at my ugly farm. It's kind of ugly. I've forgotten how things work. It's black. No, that's blue. I think black's wood. I've totally just like... I don't even need these things anymore. It'll be life-changing money-wise. That's epic. It was a bit disheartening when Milk Cat were making more money than me. Do you know what? That friggin' sucks. Like, does he have like more experience than you or something, or is it just that he's a man? I don't want to get rid of the. I don't want to. I could sell the cheese, I suppose. Yeah, we'll sell the cheese. Screw it. Why not? It's also Friday, so we've got to check the traveling merchant today as well. Oops. Say hello to Merlin, of course. God, I've been a while. Not right now. He's worked with them though, and that seems to be enough. Oh, that's really shit. That's real shit. I'm stuck. Let's pet everybody. Pet. Pets. Oh yeah, I got a baby bunny last time. I don't know if any of you guys have seen my Stardew Valleys. Yeah, you can ask for whatever your male counterpart earns, because you're no less qualified than he is. Well, yeah, you know, you gotta be positive for what you do have, I suppose. I don't think it's as big of an issue in the UK, is it? I mean, it probably is, to be honest, but... Oh, I still have a line of crops there. Haven't been watered. Let's go in and pet the... Yeah, I remember having more of a frank discussion. That's what I was looking for. Something to check the books and paper. I don't know if it's worth the wait. Hell yeah! Of course. Get me them truffles, piggy. Callum's watching TikToks.
Sorry for bothering you.
You're not bothering me, my love. You can watch TikToks if you like.
No, I won't.
You can? God, why are you mad at me? We've had such a nice day, and now you're mad at me. disappointed in me? Oh. Come on then, traveling lady. What do you got for me? I'll take the rare seed. I literally don't want anything else. Thanks. Because this is my YouTube farm. I still haven't got to the bloody island yet, and I've been recording it for a year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How long does it take to finish?
Well, I'm on year 2.
They still haven't finished?
No, I'm red cabbage. Oh. Bloody red cabbage. That is a long wall of text. I will read it in a second. Does that mean you kill these slimes? Oh, my love is playing. Right, let me read that. If they have legit gaps for me, I can work on those. If anything, it takes a title and run from the year to the spot of him. Yeah, exactly. I'm learning how to be a ruthless cutthroat for 2 seconds. I'll stop doing that and just live my life again. I go back to my date with Sammy. Love you guys. Speak to you whenever. Have a fantastic Christmas. Hope you get a play the email you can handle. Have a great day. Have a great snaps. Even for the love of God. Stay safe. Don't be a jackass and die or something. Yeah, nobody die, please. See you tomorrow, Val. Both excited. Yeah, tomorrow's the last stream, man. Can't believe I've streamed every day for 24, almost 24 days. Apart from 2 days. I missed 2 days. 1 was out of my control, so technically I've only missed 1. Yeah, have fun, Sammy and Kate. Have fun. It's like having a bestie while I work. Hi, bestie. Yeah, the second one was out of my control as well. I'm pretty sure it was like a period migraine, so... Sorry if that's TMI for anybody. Yeah. And I there was no way I was gonna sit in front of a computer in a fucking bright as shit light for 2 hours. There's no way. TMI means too much information. I don't know why I'm collecting hardwood for. I'm just buying time, really. Like, blood has already been crushed out of me without consent. Leave me alone, basically. Oh, is Callum gonna come and sit by me? Oh, you can turn the TV if you want. Huh. The craft music playing. I literally don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just mulling about till something happens. Ew, Cam and Abby see. Oh, I thought you said ew. It says aw. Callum will be streaming with me tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Sam. I don't care that you saw me digging in the trash. Oh, it's Friday, so I can go buy a iridium sprinkler from Krobus. Oh god, I have such an itchy nose for some reason now all of a sudden. Never ew. For some reason I thought that said ew. Mortal Shell, what's that?
No, I just might add it to my library.
You've downloaded it now. I'll take that, thank you very much. What else do you have? Stardew. I don't want it yet. I think it's... We don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it. A, B, C, D, E, F, you, and your mom, and your sister, and your job. What am I doing? No one knows. Oh, I can hear that. Is that... I got such a... My nose is so itchy for some reason. Unknown reason. It's all of a sudden just gotten really itchy. My grandpa was a farmer. It's a respectable profession. Relationships before marriage are ew. Who are you dating this one? I'm actually married to Haley in this one, although I kind of regret it. She didn't want to dance with me at the flower festival. Even though we've been married for like a year, she was like, ew, no thanks. Like, okay, hon. Well, bye then, bitch. I'll marry Penny instead. Penny's my go-to girl in Stardew Valley. I always marry Penny. I think she's so cute, and the fact that like she's one of the only people in Stardew Valley who actually has a job. You know what I mean? Like, totally considering divorcing Haley. Oh God, my nose is so itchy. It's disgusting. What can we do? I could do some fishing, I suppose. Hi, I am Wino. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Itchy noses are cute and awesome. They are horrible. They are literally the worst thing in the world. I hate having an itchy nose. I haven't had an itchy nose for literally about 2 months. And now all of a sudden, I have an itchy nose. Hey, Lewis. Are we besties? Oh, we are besties. No, it's no one's birthday today, Lewis. I've already checked. Oh yeah, aren't itchy noses a sign that like you're about to get some money? Oh my God, there's gold down there. I want to get it. 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 Quick! Oh, it's fucking gone. Typical. Unbelievable. Oh my God, I haven't had an itchy nose for literally about 2 months, and now I've got a mega itchy nose. Or diamonds, because this game. Well, yeah. Although I'm quite rich. You wouldn't think it because I only have 20 grand. But honestly, I am kind of rich in this game. I have like a bunch of crops down. All the money, I had loads of money. I spent it all on seeds. I literally haven't done anything but ride around and collect things. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry I'm itching my nose. I'm so sorry this is happening. Back on the farm now. Just a bit of a loop-de-loop to my mind to actually start a diamond farm. Ooh. How do you even start a diamond farm? Oh my God, look. The thunder got one of my fucking cabbages. I've been trying to cut off my whole career and watch something different. Fair. I should be rich, yeah. I bloody wish. Any truffles for me? Just one? Am I on the beachy beach level? Yeah, the beachy beach. So I'm not gonna mess with the fields yet with the iridium sprinkler because it'll just ruin the rest of the things. I keep thinking you have to press shift to get off the horse because of Minecraft, but you literally don't. Oh my God, this is getting on my nerves now. I'm honestly. Oh yeah, the honey farms are really cute. I've seen people make like love hearts out of them, and I'm pretty sure I have 6 machines. Thank you for making it snow. You can make oh yeah, crystallariums, so you can stick diamonds and do something. I'm making like 50 of them. Wow, they're expensive to make though. They're expensive. You need iridium for them, and I don't like going looking for iridium. Literally me! Oh my God! It's terrible. I'm having a terrible time. That's what I want to try. Ooh. Well, good luck to you with that, because that sounds... that sounds very, very hard. Oh my God, I haven't watered any of these. These all need to be watered by hand. What a twat. They all need to be watered by hand. Although, somebody in my YouTube comments did actually inform me that you can just put a tile down and it'll work. Like, you can just put a tile down and you can just put sprinklers on it. Oh, it doesn't? Oh, well, they lied to me. They bloody lied to me. Maybe it used to work, but it got patched or something. Like with rocks and tiles. Oh man. I was about to like try it, but if it doesn't work, then I'm not gonna. We hand water as a team. We do the species of 4-man. Oh my god, that would be so handy. I wonder how my greenhouse crops are doing. I'll check them in the morning. Oh no, wait, I still have shit to sell. Oh my god, this is getting ridiculous now. Just gonna sell everything.
Creeper. Oh man.
I listened to that song again the other day. I went on YouTube and searched it. Back in the mine with our picks swinging from side to side. Side to side. Hi, Haley. Haley, talk to me. Look! She doesn't want to talk to me now! Honestly, we're breaking up, let me tell you. And she just took my side of it. We're breaking up. We're breaking up. It's happening. We're breaking up. I'm divorcing her. It costs 50 grand to divorce somebody though, I think. We're doing it. We're gonna divorce Haley. Nothing happening again today. Where is the little witch? She's outside. Yeah, 50k. Unbelievable. Have some morning coffee. I hate coffee in real life, so that's fun. I can pretend I like it in Stardew Valley. Somewhat annoyed. I swear to God, this entire year too, the spirits have never been pleased with me. I guess I'll take a friggin' coconut and give her, but she just won't probably be impressed with that either. Where is she? Oh, she's up here. Here you go, Haley. Yeah, you're welcome. Say goat cheese. Goat cheese. Bitch. Honestly. Thanks, Lewis, for giving me gold. That's probably like hush money. He's done yet? No, but this coffee is. Whee. Haley is pretty, yes, I will give her that. A pufferfish. I don't want to go searching for pufferfish. What happened to my floor? Oh, I didn't shut my ducks up, so now I have to find them all to pet them. Nope. That is a wood chicken, not a real one. That's my bunny. That's my bunny. And my dino. Oh, my cabbages, Strabby. I named all of my hutch animals after bug snacks. I named them all after bug snacks. I don't know if any of you have played that game, bug snacks. It is a fucking great game. Loki kind of want to play it again, but I don't want to have to find all the bug snacks again because that was real annoying. Some of them were absolute shitbags. Never heard of it? Oh my god, bug snacks is great. It's such a cute little game. It was free for PS Plus, for PS5 users. It was great. Great game. Would recommend. How do I count? Did I bring my horse? I think I did. Oh, my nose is really itchy. I want to frickin' die. I can't put this on YouTube with me fucking itching my nose every 2 seconds, can I? That's not going to be annoying for anybody to watch. Oh, what? What am I doing? What am I doing? my god, I'm trying to put milk in the egg thing. Twat. I'm trying to put milk in the egg thing, and I'm wondering why it's not working. That's why it's not working, you pillock. Fucking hell. I want to make a Dino Shack. 3, 4, 6. It's so nice that I don't have to like go in and manually pick all the eggs up now. Swoop these up. Right, so all the stuff's still up here. I've yet to move them down. Thank you for the bonk. Hopefully you can hear it. I couldn't hear that very well actually. But it was there. I don't know what. Oh, I've got a tree. You put the tree out. It's Christmas. What do you mean I can't put it there? Oh, if I can put it there, right in the way. That's fine. There we go. Got the tree up. I hate that you just stand next to it and just fucking meh, meh, meh. Let's put the pepper in. Where's my seed chest? Is this one? Yeah. Let's go and check my... There's a blue chicken up here. The blue chickens are my favorite, I think. I think I'm just gonna get rid of my other chickens and just have blue ones. Can I pet you? Yeah, snackery. Oh, nothing yet still. The trees are growing nicely. Still waiting for my ancient fruit to be done. Oh, let's go check my wine as well. I've got some wine going. Should have brought my horse, but I didn't. Maybe we do some... Oh, we got some caviar done. Nice. My wine still isn't done. Don't eat the aged roe, please. Take that out. I'll sell it. Abby, how are you? Let us throw stuff in your face. What? Throw stuff back. What? You let us throw our stuff in your face. Throw stuff back. Eh? You want me to talk? What? You want me to talk shit? What do you want me to talk shit for?
You're a pussy.
I'm confused. I'm so confused. What's going on? What's happening? What do I say? How am I? You let us throw our stuff in your face. Throw stuff back. Let's talk about your problems. How has this come about? I have problems? I mean, do I have problems? Do I have problems? Cams was saying that I do have problems. Let's talk about your problems. My problems. I mean, I'm anxious about pretty much everything all the time. I guess that's a problem. Is it? It's probably a problem. My anxiety is just on another level, to be honest. What else? What else? That's pretty much the only problem. Sometimes I get really sad and I just cry a lot. Other than that, I don't think I have any other problems. Yep, I can read so well. I've got an 8 for it still. That's all that's going on with me though, not much. I'm doing pretty good, you know, when looking at it. I can go do some fishing, I suppose. Sell some shit. Should have took my horse, but that's where puss is. Ooh, do I have that? Oh, I already got it, damn it. Prehistoric vertebrae or whatever it is. I'm gonna buy Life is Strange True Colors when I get paid, I think. It's on sale, so I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna get 30 copper ores for you, Clint. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Ooh, Joja Cola. That requires much too much effort. Let's go and do some fishing. Still don't have the summer legendary fish. Because honestly, I kind of suck at catching the legendary fish. Oh, the bar is so big. We can chat now. Fishing's kind of chill in Stardew Valley, so we can chat. What do you want to chat about? These sound effects are wildly loud. Are they? Really? Yeah, they kind of look louder than me on the thing. I'll turn them down in a second. Let's do, what would it be? Sound? Ambient volume? Doing it so we hit the waves. Okay. Is that better, or is that like not done anything? Bit better. Okay, I'll turn it down a bit more. In a second. Right, so tomorrow's stream. It's gonna be an early one, okay? It's gonna be, it's the ambient noise. Okay, I'll turn the ambient noise down more. Ambient volume. There we go, that should be better. That's not the way you fish, is it? Right, tomorrow's stream. Mario Kart. Overcooked. Yeah, Mario Kart and Overcooked are on the agenda, with Callum, obviously. I'll let Callum take over my stream a little bit, and he can do some races. My subscribers. Pretty much everybody in the chat, in my chat, follows you anyway. But yeah. Yeah, I think we'll start off with a bit of Overcooked, I think, me and Callum, and then before we finish, we'll do a bit of Mario Kart, and Callum can have a couple races. So if anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome. We'll probably start the stream at about 9:30, give or take, because I have to take my sister to work for 9. So the stream will probably be about 9, 10 o'clock. America, no worries, TD. You can always just join in and tell me how shit I am at it, because I am shit at it. You can do like, you will, thank you. You can do like 2-player online, so like you can have a controller and I can have a controller, but it'll be split screen. But we can do that. We can always try one and see if it's okay. Because, you know, who really pays that much attention to Mario? We could do like some like versus battles. You know, me versus Callum if nobody else is around to play, which is totally fine. It's just on the phone. No worries. So tomorrow we're gonna start off the stream. You probably won't be awake though. You might be. But it's gonna be an early one because we have a lot to do tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, lads. How's Callum doing actually? How are you doing actually? How are you doing? He's good. He's good. TD, thanks for asking. Very kind. But yeah, so we're gonna start off tomorrow with Overcooked for like an hour or so, and then for the rest of the stream, me and Callum will be playing Mario Kart. I'll let Callum take over my stream a little bit, And Callum can play some matches against people if people want to join. If not, then we'll just do like versus. Me versus Callum and all the NPCs. What the fuck was that? That was a bit intense, wasn't it? What was that fish? Probably a super cucumber or something. I don't know what they're called. Sea cucumbers. I think I have time to beat y'all in Mario Kart. I mean, it's literally not hard to beat me at Mario Kart, really, is it? You know what? You know what's annoyed me? My emote wall. I like it when it's like over the whole screen, I think. So I'm gonna change that right now. There we go. I guess my younger brother has Mario Kart. I'm allowed to use it. I mean, if you have to have a Switch, a Nintendo Switch, you have to have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I think is the only Mario Kart available on the Switch, to be honest. And you have to have a Nintendo Switch online membership to be able to play online. Which is kind of stupid, but I guess you have to have it with like every other platform, so... I don't know, it just lags all the time as soon as I try to pull up things. But yeah, no worries, TD. You can always just tell me how shit I am. That's fine. I know, I'm well aware. You should, like, the last stream I did, well, the first stream I did of it, really, because I hadn't streamed Mario Kart before. It was a lot of fun, though. I want to arrange, like, a tournament where, like, we'll do, like, a tournament thing, and whoever wins, I'll give, like, I don't know, a gift card, for, like, their preferred game store, like Xbox or PlayStation or Switch or whatever. I think that would be really, really cool. I won't win. You want a signed piece of artwork? I mean, I could do it. I could do it if you want. Send it to the States. I totally could. I'm willing. I wonder how much it would cost to send a picture to America. Probably not much, right? Because it's just like a flat letter. So I can't imagine it would cost, like, too much. I'll tell you what, Toto. You win. You come in the top 3 of the tournament, okay, when we do it. And I will personally draw something for you and sign it and send it to you. I will do it. You come in the top 3, I'll do it. First, second, or third, and I'll do it for you. I could just imagine being on stream with this and, oh, by the way, look what I have. Look what came today. And it's just my shit piece of artwork. Sammy or Creeper. Oh my god, Creeper's so good at it. Creeper is so good at it, though. I will 100% come last. 100%.
Creeper. Oh man.
We'll 100% come last. Yeah. Do you know what? I was kind of when Creeper was doing it, I was like, there's no way that they're not cheating. But I honestly, I don't think they're cheating. I genuinely think they're just really friggin' good at it. Because if they were cheating, I feel like they'd avoid literally everything. You know what I mean? But I genuinely think they're just, like, legit a good Mario Kart player. Yeah, you can. You can actually cheat. There is a way to actually cheat. I think you have to, like, do something to your game or whatever, but... Oh man, Mario Kart for the Wii was great. That was Mario Kart 7, wasn't it? For the Wii with this fucking steering wheel. That was great. But yeah, you definitely can cheat. You should, I'm gonna YouTube it, actually. I'm gonna YouTube what a Mario Kart 8 cheater looks like. But I genuinely think Creeper is just really good at it. I genuinely think they're just really good at it. But they just kind of like fly off. And it just seems like ridiculous. Like they know some like special hacks or something. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, so tomorrow, Overcooked first in the morning with Callum. Oh shit. And then it'll be Mario Kart for the last little bit of the stream before Christmas Eve. And then I will be having my week break. I may stream in between in between Christmas and New Year, but I'm not promising it. But I might. What time are we gonna set? Oh my gosh, don't set an alarm too early, friend. Although you are only an hour ahead of me, so it's not like it's gonna be too bad. I think I'll be like I said, I'm gonna aim to be able to start by 9:30 in the morning, 9 a.m. GMT. Yeah, it'd be 3 a.m. Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of sad, but it's okay. There will be plenty of time to play Mario Kart, so do not worry. Oh, it's getting late. No, because you're an hour ahead of me, aren't you? You're an hour ahead of me, so 9:30 in the morning. It should be 10:30 for you, I think. I'll get a painting somehow. I'm not doing the tournament tomorrow, Toto. The tournament's not tomorrow. I'll make sure when I organize the tournament, you will be available. You'll be available. Yeah, head an hour early. Ah, okay. Just gonna sell this. Why not? Yeah, so I think another stone owl, lads. That's 2. Yeah, so yeah, Overcooked first. We'll do some more of the Christmas levels. Me and Callum will play. I'll be aggressive as usual. And then Mario Kart after. For the rest of the stream. So if no one's about to play, then it'll just be me and Callum probably, just playing with people, playing with like the NPCs. But if anybody wants to play, then me and Callum are definitely up for it. Hey Haley, do you want to talk to me today? Go ahead and start your day, honey. I'm just putting on my makeup. Oh, she gives me a kiss today, does she? Fucking witch. Oh, I didn't water my crops. Ah, that's gonna set me back a whole day now. Thanks, Lewis, for 500 gold. Is that my favorite tarot reading? I'll post in the Discord my favorite tarot reading of all time for relationships. Oh my god, tell me. Tell me. Nah. There you go. Nice. Yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see. Wait, did I water them yesterday? I think I might have. I think I might have. Do you remember? I need a new watering can. I don't even have any iridium tools yet. What do I want to do? I genuinely don't know because I'm just waiting for my shit to be done. Oh, I have 23 ingots. I could get something upgraded. Oh, I haven't. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. We'll get the pickaxe upgraded. Why not? How many do I have? 5. So we can do another lot. Do I have any? No. Put it there. I will have a look. I need coal. That's 6. I need 6. There we go. Right. So let's sort out the ducks and shit. Put some more eggs in. Traveling merchant. Oh, there's my phone. 5, 6. Ooh, duck feathers in there today. Nice. Oh, blue chicken is down here. That's cute. Oh, I see a... Ooh, lots of truffles today. Good job, piggy. Pet all of the cow. What we got in there today? Nice. Let's flip that over. Right, traveling merchant time. As soon as I put this there. Smooth them. I also need to get to Clint's before it shuts. Why would you don't pet them? If you don't pet them, they just get kind of pissy, and they give you like lower quality eggs and milk. That's pretty much it. Nothing much happens. Eventually, you kind of get to a point in Stardew where you literally don't need anything that I haven't checked my fish. You'll get to a point where you don't really need anything. You need that. That is literally the hardest thing to get. Oh, my wine's done. Neat. Just cranberry wine. Let's make some tea. We can do it for Caroline. I think, although it might already be like in max hearts with Caroline. Then you drink all the wine. Yes, exactly. Does anybody actually like wine? Like, genuinely, do you guys like wine? Because I don't know if it's just all the wine I've had has been shit, or whether I just don't like it. Because it all tastes the same to me, and it kind of all just tastes a bit like chemicals. You can't drink with your meds, that's fair. It kind of just all tastes like chemicals to me. You may just not like it. A bit. Oh, beer's disgusting. Callum loves it. I don't know how he drinks it, to be honest. What do you mean? Why do you drink it then? Oh. But you're not...
Juice because I love it. I drink juice because I like it. If I love something, I'd like want to go out my way to get it. Like,
like Magnums, okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't go out my way to get beer.
but you'd go out of your way to get a Magnum.
Yes. And I have.
Okay, fair, I guess. It uses younger grapes that are sour. Maybe that's why. Maybe I've just had shit wine. I could just not take my meds and buy alcohol. Don't do that. Take your meds first. Always. Don't know why I mind those stones. Hi, Jazz. I'm 2 years in, and I bet you like dessert wine. I probably would. I mean, well, I don't know. See? Because I feel they all taste the same to me. Like, do you like Prosecco? Because I can't stand that. I can't stand Prosecco. I think it's foul. Moscato, okay. I'll have to keep an eye out. You don't have to like that. I don't like Prosecco. Oh, I never said take your meds for me, TD. You do you. Prosecco is like champagne, and you have to have a taste of that. Ah, okay. I see. That's fair enough. Where am I going? Clint's. That's where I'm going. Upgrade. What are we doing? Iridium pickaxe or watering can? Moscato is sweet and bubbly. That sounds kind of nice. Maybe, Bartenders, I've never heard of any of these. They're like a month for concentration. Oh, okay, fair enough. You do you. I mean, I'm just genuinely not an alcohol fan, I think. I like a vodka and orange every now and then, which is like the tamest of alcoholic drinks, I think. Then again, it depends how much vodka you put in it, I suppose. Ah, see pike, okay. I'll try and catch some pike then. Don't know how good that's gonna do. Oh, no worries, TD. I probably just missed, like, I probably... My friggin... what was I saying? Oh my god, the way I say things sometimes, it can kind of confuse it, I think. But, yeah, no worries, don't worry about it. I bet this is a bloody pike. I hate pike. Is it a pike? Is it a pike? Is it a knot? Oh, yeah, it is a pike. Sweet. See 2 more of them, and we're alright. I don't know if this is a pike. I don't think it is. I genuinely thought I was like really good at fishing in Stardew Valley, but I don't think I'm as good as I think I am. You should have seen me try to catch the legend fish. It was an absolute train wreck. Absolute train wreck. Oh, this isn't a pike. This is gonna be like a chub or something shit. Or like a, what are they called? Smallmouth bass. Oh no, it's a sunfish. That's nice. Footage needed. It's on my YouTube channel. Terrible. So my parents wanted to drink it anyways. What kind of wine do they drink though? Is it good quality wine? My mum likes gin. My mum and Nan both like gin. Although my Nan does like a Bud Light. So... I don't know, it's red. Love tequila. Oh my god. I make a mean margarita. What's that? What's that? What's in that? There's a pipe as well, I think. Oh, sorry, Jazz. Am I in your spot? I feel like I might be in Jazz's spot. Oh, but you can't see because it's like under the thing. Yay, another pike. Okay, let's go find Willy then. Tequila, triple sec, sugar water, and limes. That sounds... See, when you say it like that, that sounds nice. But I don't know what tequila tastes like. Have you ever had tequila? Hello? Yeah. Thank you. Did you like it? Don't drink alcohol anyways. Margaritas and some guacamole. That sounds like an odd combination. I'm not gonna lie there, Toto. That sounds odd. Do people normally eat that together? Margaritas and guacamole? Really? That just sounds super weird to me. It sounds super strange. If you're me, I shall teach you the ways. Oh my god, I would love to meet you too, honestly. I want to meet Indigo. And you too, Toto, but you know, your dog. She'd adore me and Callum, yeah. Dogs just like love Callum. Like my nan's dog, Cookie, oh my god, she absolutely adores Callum. She will just sit there with him and just look at him while he tickles her. She loves him so much. I would love to meet up with you though, Toto. That would be sick. Oh yeah, TD, do you have any pets? I don't remember. I don't know if you've mentioned it before or not. I don't remember. If you do, I would love to hear about them. I would love to hear about them if you do. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned them before. Now that I remember. Now that we're saying it, I'm pretty sure you have said about them before. 2 cats. Oh, I love that. That's so cute. My cousin has a tortoise called Elvis. He used to be literally like this, and now he's like the size of your hand. Even bigger now, probably. I haven't seen him in a while. Or tortoise, however you spell it. Either way, they're cool. Regardless, tortoise, turtles. Turtles are the ones that are like Crush from Finding Nemo. The ones that are always in the water, right? That's a turtle, and the tortoise are the ones that are like the land ones. The land turtles. Land turtles and water turtles. So, we all know how much I want a fat ginger cat called Ron, right? We all know how much I want one of those, right? I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw a whole family of Rons. They're Maine Coon cats, and they were all ginger. They were all super, super thick and fluffy, and they were just all sat on a cat tree, like 6 of them. Just sat there, and I'm like, oh my god, look at that little family of Rons. How I would love to take one of those home. A crayfish. He escaped and lived his best life in the house for a week. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry your brother's turtle didn't survive very long. That sucks. Oh my god. Would crayfish, like, live outside of water? Are crayfish water animals? They sound like water animals. Pretty sure they're water animals. I've been with us for 12 years. Yeah, if you have a tortoise, they live a very long time. Tortoises can like outlive you in some cases. I think Callum would love a bird. Yeah, proper tank for them. I did not have a proper tank. Oh no. Yeah, Callum would really like a bird. We saw a bird on TikTok the other day, and he was just stomping about because he was really angry. He was really angry. He was just stomping about because he didn't like a cardboard tube. He's having to stomp about. Callum wants a bird so bad. They are so adorable. Love birds. Hey, Merlin. Oh, the stone owl's also out there somewhere. I forgot to go look for it. That's a nice chunk of money. I'll take it. I'll take it. Right. I know it's a pretty relatively short stream today, but it's 10 to 10. And, my neighbors can probably hear me chatting shit. So, we'll do one more day, and then we'll probably finish up, because, yeah, it's like 10 to 10. 24-hour stream got, no. Don't be like Richie, too. You're doing a Richie. I would love to do a 24-hour stream. I just don't think I have the energy for it. I couldn't even do a 12-hour stream when I tried for my birthday. I made it 6 hours and like tapped out. But I did do it overnight. I did the 12-hour stream overnight, whereas I should have started at like 9 AM and went to 9 PM. Then I feel like it would have been like a lot easier instead of doing it from like 9 PM to 9 AM after being awake the whole day. You know what I mean? Because it was my birthday, wasn't it? And I didn't want to just stream all day on my birthday. Yeah, I was an idiot. I am definitely gonna do it. I'd like to try again. But I'll do it like 9 AM to 9 PM this time, or like 10 AM to 10 PM or whatever. You know, like normal time. No, I'm not pressured. I genuinely would love to do one. I would love to do a 12-hour stream, but I think it would have to be for something. I don't want to just do it. Maybe we'll do like a charity or something. We can raise some money for the animals. Either that or cancer research or something. Cancer research or animals. I like giving money to the animals. I think I give money every month to WWF for Amur leopards. I adopted Amur leopard. I also donate to Four Pools, which is with the bears. I donate to them too every month. And I also do RSPCA every month, so. The RSPCA is like the animal welfare of the UK. In case you didn't know. Oh, do you know, I really wish I just had 6 eggs. 2, 4, 6. Let me roll this down. Thanks, I was gonna ask. Yeah, the RSPCA is like the animal welfare for us. Yeah, and I do that, so that's nice. My sister has adopted an orca. She gets money every month for the orcas, which is nice. She watched a documentary on Netflix, and it kind of scarred her for life. So she said, "You should watch it." I'm like, "No, thank you. I will literally probably die if I watch that." Like, I don't know how she managed to watch it, to be honest. But there's no way. He's not done yet. Come on. I just want to complete the community center. It's the last thing I have left. At least in fall, we're gonna have a whole bunch of rare seeds to plant, so that'll be nice. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I've already been in there. So yeah, after tomorrow's stream, like I said, I'm gonna take a little week break. Orcas are mean. I mean, yeah, they kind of are, but they're treated really badly. They are literally the sea's like top predator. Orcas. They like eat seals and shit, which is sad, but you know they gotta live too, I suppose. Plant some sunflowers. I don't know if I have any. Haley likes sunflowers. Don't want to leave any patches empty. They throw them. Oh, yeah, I know. That is kind of mean on the orca's part. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Animals gotta eat just like we have to. What's everyone's favorite animal? What's everyone's favorite animal? Like, you know, not including like dogs and cats. Dogs and cats don't count. You can't say dog and cat. A kiwi? That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say a kiwi. I think that's like one of those little birds, isn't it? A kiwi. It is a fruit, but it's also a little bird. I seriously find them there. You're a horse girl? Nice. Love horses too. I really want to be a horse girl. And then I went to New Zealand and one go, oh, you have a kiwi tattoo? I need pics, please. I need pics. But yeah, it's mine. I shall. Thank you. I would love to see it. There are so many tattoos I want, man, but they're so expensive. My favorite animal. I don't know if you guys knew this before. My favorite animal, like of all time, are elephants. I absolutely love them. They are the best animals in the world, in my opinion. They are so sweet. They like actually like mourn their dead friends. They actually like grieve for them, which is like, please don't. Like, oh, they are literally the cutest things in the world. I love them. They are my favorite little guys in the world. Is my pickaxe ready? No, because I haven't done. Let's find this stone owl, because it dropped, but I don't know where it dropped to. Let's try and find it. I just found out they have a sense of humor too. See, I didn't even know that. That's incredible to know. I mean, of course they do. They're elephants. Oh god. Yeah, they are. I genuinely love them so much. I'm probably gonna adopt an elephant as well. That's why I don't like them. Elephants have all the lovely qualities, and they have no bad qualities, like unlike humans. Elephants have the nice qualities. Dumbo would say differently. I just think they're such incredible animals. Like, I went to Noah's Ark once with my nan, my mom, and my granddad. It was like way back, and I literally they were just looking around the rest of the park. It's like a little Noah's Ark is kind of like a little mini sort of like it's not a zoo because it's like really open, but I don't really know what you call it, but it's they have elephants, and I literally just sat there for about an hour just watching these little elephants play around with like sticks and shit. It was so cute. It was so cute. It's so cute. I can literally watch them all day. Oops. Ooh, goody seeds. Where's this pissing owl? Because it definitely dropped. So I'm sure I'll run across it. Yeah, look at the little guy. I just think they're super adorable. Humans usually suck. I found a few normal ones I like. Yeah, that's true. Like, a lot of people do kind of suck, but elephant. Yeah, look at. Oh my god, look. Oh, he's hugging. He's hugging him. Just do. I will only allow gifts of elephants from now on. Elephant gifts. If you're a sub and you use the gift command, it can only be an elephant now from now on. Aw, a person's a person, no matter how small. What movie was that from? That was from a Dr. Seuss movie. Which one was that? Oh, it's got like a really weird title, that one. Oh, speaking of Dr. Seuss movies, I watched the Lorax the other day when I couldn't sleep. And what a great movie that is. The song that the Onceler sings, what a fucking banger. Genuinely, it's such a good song. I've been singing it like all day. It's like humming it to myself. How many duck eggs do we have? Only one. I've got autism. I have a lot of friends that have it too. That's totally fair. Totally fair. Oops. I'm just gonna get rid of this fence because it's getting on my tits. Oh, at least the gates like come back. Like you can't get the fences back, but at least you can get. At least you can get the gates back. Oh, he's fluffy. Look at his fluffy legs. Oh. They genuinely just make my heart ache, I think. They just make my heart ache. I love them so much. I'll sell the rest. Not that though. How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? Sell the gates, why not? Just selling everything. I don't have nothing to do. Let's go check my thingy. That's our chat's just totally like, that's fine. I've had times where there's been no one chatting, which is also fine. It's just how the day goes. A baby elephant. Do I have any more geodes? Oh, I do. Baby tries so hard. You try. You know, I think I'm gonna start keeping some of the little bits because that's interesting. Okay, you do you, I guess. Have I watered this? I forgot if I have. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I have. Alright. Go away, Haley. I hate you. Bonk. Thank you, the bonk. Nice chunk of money. Saved a game. Yeah, sorry today's stream is a little bit shorter. I was anticipating on streaming earlier than I did. But obviously bonk. But obviously, you know, we went out and did some shit. So sorry, it's a little bit shorter than usual. But tomorrow's stream should be a bit longer. Thank you for making it snow too. I reduced the price from 500 to 300 because I like it. I kind of just want to keep it. This isn't copyright-free music. What is this? Who is that? Who the frick is Simply? Can you just not just play a playlist? Why does it keep swapping? Hate it. Hate that. Keep it during Christmas. Yeah, I mean, I really like it. Trying to DMC. Yeah, it just Spotify is just absolutely like. I have to get like a YouTube playlist or something instead because it just keeps like randomly picking songs. Like literally, that the song that was playing just now was nowhere on any playlist I've ever had. It just keeps randomly picking things, so, and I just like, what you doing? Unless the playlist finished. Maybe the playlist finished. I don't know. We'll see. Have to keep an eye on you, Spotify. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to my Christmas Eve stream. Like I said, tomorrow's stream will start about 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. GMT. It'll definitely start between 9:30 and 10. Okay, it'll start between there. Cause I am not sure what's gonna. Oh, I forgive. What is this? Why is South Park on an elephant gif? That's weird, isn't it? That's weird. Oh God. Well, look at him playing with a tube with like a hose. He loves it. Next stream, I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, you will, TD. No worries. Thank you very much for coming to the stream. Hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Also, so stream tomorrow. So I will too. In that case, because I'm probably not going to see you tomorrow. Have a great Christmas. I'll probably message you on Twitter or something or Discord just to say it again. But have a lovely Christmas. Just in case I don't see you or for whatever reason. But have a great Christmas. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. Thanks for being one of my fave besties this year. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to do some more shit with you next year. Anyway, so yeah, 9:30 a.m. GMT is when we're gonna start. Overcooked and Mario Kart are on the agenda tomorrow. But yeah, I'm so glad you found me and raided. I know. Well, it was Autumn who raided me, and then because Autumn was playing Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age as well, should I say? So she raided me, and then I was like, "Who else is playing Dragon Age?" And at the time, it was only Autumn, me, and you playing Dragon Age at the time. So you were literally my only option. It was fate. It was fate. And then once Autumn had finished, it was just me and you playing. Me and you playing. When I finished, I was like, well, there's only one person to raid, so let's go raid Toto Kitty, I suppose. And now look at us, we're besties. Best buddies. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I love you so much. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to the stream. I'm gonna head on out. I'm gonna go get in bed, chill out, watch some YouTube, watch some stuff. Have a wonderful rest of your Have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody. If I don't see you before, anybody else who's watching, lurking, whatever, have a great Christmas or a great day if you don't celebrate Christmas. Hope you all have a good one. I'm gonna head out. Have a wonderful day / evening, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.